Understanding Condensation Forms, a simple guide. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our English language learning channel. Today, we're going to explore an intriguing phrase that often pops up in both scientific and everyday contexts: condensation forms. It might sound complex, but by the end of this video, you'll understand what it means and how to use it correctly in sentences. So, let's dive in and demystify this phrase together. First, let's break down the phrase into two parts: condensation and forms. Condensation is a scientific term that describes the process by which water vapor in the air turns into liquid water. This usually happens when warm air cools down, and it's a common phenomenon in nature. Think of the dew on grass in the morning or the water droplets on the outside of a cold glass. Forms, in this context, refers to the way that something appears or comes into being. It's a verb that indicates the action of becoming visible or taking shape. So, when we put the two words together, condensation forms essentially means that liquid water starts to appear from water vapor due to the cooling of the air. To help you better understand this concept, let's look at some everyday examples where you might encounter condensation. On windows, have you ever noticed droplets of water forming on the inside of windows, especially on a cold day? That's condensation forming because the warm, moist air inside touches the cold glass, cools down, and releases moisture as water droplets. On drink containers, when you have a cold beverage in a glass or bottle, the surface often becomes wet. This is because the cool temperature of the drink cools the air around the container, causing condensation to form. In the weather, fog is a large-scale example of condensation. It forms when moist air cools down to the point where it can't hold all its water vapor, turning some of it back into tiny droplets of liquid water, which we see as fog. Now that you understand what condensation is and how it forms, let's practice using the phrase in sentences. When I left my iced coffee on the table, condensation formed on the outside of the glass. In science class, we learned how condensation forms on surfaces when warm, moist air cools. The bathroom mirror often gets foggy after a hot shower because condensation forms on it. I hope this explanation helps clarify what the phrase condensation forms means and how you can use it in your conversations or writing. Remember, English is full of interesting phrases like this one, and understanding them can really enrich your language skills. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to practice what you've learned today. See you in our next video.